the Glencoe Library. I welcome you to tonight's program, Getting Started with Libby. Haley, I will let you take it from here.
Hi, everybody. This is Getting Started with Libby. We are going to go over the basics of the app, just some app navigation, and how to get your books quicker. So the first thing I need people to do is if you're planning on following along, please have your library card handy. I need the numbers on the back of your card if you plan on logging into Libby today. So grab your card if you are able. My area of expertise in the library is Libby. I purchase our ebooks and our e-audiobooks, so I'm really excited to share this resource with you guys. Um, Libby is our online resource that we use for ebooks, audiobooks, and we have a huge catalog. We have a wide range of books that stems from like obscure Star Wars novels to, crazy bestsellers like The Correspondent. So it is a huge, huge catalog of books and a wonderful resource that we would love for you guys to use. So if this is your first time using Libby, here we go. Okay, cool. So, I am going to be using the Libby website to show off what we're doing here. If you are downloading the app, you're going to use the Google Play Store or the App Store. The website and the app, they look basically the same. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and it will look the same as yours. My goal for tonight is to get everybody, comfortable with checking out at least one book. If you do not feel comfortable by the end of the night, put a question or comment in the chat. Call the library, call me when I'm there, send me an email. I'm actually going to put my email in the chat right now. So, yeah, if you don't feel comfortable by the end of the night, give us a call, come in, send me an email, whatever, and I will help you one on one set up your Libby. We can do it together. We can make an appointment. I am happy to work one on one with people to get this working. So, let's get started. Okay. I am going to share my screen. Okay, here we are. So I am going to go to libbyapp.com. And everybody else, if you are downloading on your phone, you are going to download the Libby app. So you're just going to go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, and you're going to type in Libby, and you are going to download the app with this icon. You can't really see it because of my blur, but that one. That's where you're going to download and you're going to show up here. So I'm going to give us just a couple of seconds really quick to get here. This will be the first thing that shows up once you open the app. Okay, I'm going to assume that everybody downloaded stuff. So now that we're here, the app is going to give us some prompts to find our library and help us sign in with our card, okay? So the first question that the app is going to give us is, do you have a library card? So we're going to say, yes, we have a library card. And then it's going to say that we have several ways to help us find our library. So how would we like to continue? So what we can do is we can guess our library. So this is if you don't know the name of your library. You can recover your data. This is if you had a Libby account with a different library and you would like to maybe connect them or reset that up. Unfortunately, I do not have time for that tonight, but again, feel free to book a librarian, request me, and we will work on this together if this is your situation. What we are going to be doing tonight is we are going to search for a library. So I'm going to click on that, search for a library, and then I'm going to click on search and type in Glencoe Public Library. Here we are. So we've got several options here. We've got Glencoe, Illinois, Glencoe, Minnesota, and Glencoe, Alabama. We want Illinois. So we're going to click on this one. All right. And now we are at the Digital Library of Illinois homepage. Um, this is where we want to be. So I'm going to click on sign in with my card. This is where you want your library card. We are going to click on Glencoe Public Library again because we need to remind computers of what we're doing. And then I'm going to type in my card number. So you should do the same if you were following along. Okay. And now we are going to sign in. So this is our library card. The cool thing about Libby that is different from Hoopla, which is our other online ebook resource, is that we get 10 holds. So Hoopla, for example, you get a certain number of holds a month, and that's all you get. But with Libby, we get 10 ultimate holds. So let's say I wanted to check out 10 books, I could do so, and then I could return them and check out more. Hoopla is not like that. It is kind of a month by month basis. So that is the really awesome thing about Libby. Okay, so we are finally signed in. Congratulations to everybody who got here with me. This is the hardest part of the night, so I'm glad that we got here. All right. So this is our homepage. This is the Digital Library of Illinois. This is our digital consortium. So our digital consortium is kind of like our physical consortium. So in person, the Glencoe Public Library is part of the CCS system. So the CCS system is our in-person consortium. So it's kind of like how Glencoe and Highland Park and Winnetka and all them, they're all part of the same system. So you can check out a book from there as well as Glencoe. Here online, we kind of have the same thing. So if the consortium, the digital consortium, buys one copy of Pride and Prejudice, that means that Glencoe patrons and everybody else who is part of the digital consortium can check out that copy. If I, as the Glencoe librarian, checks out or purchases two copies of Pride and Prejudice, that means that those two and that one from the consortium are all available for Glencoe patrons. So the reason why I, as the Glencoe Library ebook librarian, am buying two of those copies is so that the Glencoe patrons can have those copies first, rather than the consortium copy, because this copy is for everybody, whereas these copies are just for Glencoe people. If that didn't make sense, send me an email or put it in the chat and I will explain it again. Um, but anyway, this is our digital consortium, and our homepage. So when you open the app, this is where you're going to go. I'm not going to start here. I'm going to go down to these icons at the bottom, and we are going to start on the very left with the magnifying glass, okay? So click on the magnifying glass for me. This is our search feature and our search tab. So when you are looking for books, this is primarily where you are going to go. So let's do a scenario really quick. Let's say that my friend recommended me a book. She recommended me a fantasy book because that is what I like. It's what I like to read. And she recommended the audiobook, and the title is Nettle and Bone. She only told me the title, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the title and see what I find. So I'm going to do Nettle and Bone. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got a couple of suggested searches. When you are searching by title, I recommend just typing it in and hitting enter. I don't really recommend on clicking on either of these because it might give you results that you're not really looking for. It's going to kind of like minimize your search. So watch this. I'm going to click on Nettle and Bone sneak peek and it gives me nothing, right? So we're going to click on search again. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to type in Nettle and Bone and hit enter. I'm not going to do anything else. And we've got a lot of results here. Okay, we've got Nettle and Bone, a house with good bones, a house with good bones. So we've got a lot of stuff here. Okay, so let's make some sense of this. So I'm all the way down at the bottom and I'm going to scroll all the way back up. And what the information that I got from my friend was the title and the description. Okay, so I'm just going to click on this first one first and we're going to see what we can find here. So when you click on the item and you get into the item record here, you're going to be given a lot of great information. So immediately on the left here, I am getting the description of the book. So that's great. That's exactly what I want. So it says, this isn't the kind of fairy tale where the princess marries a prince. It's the one where she kills him. Okay, I know that this is the book that my friend told me about because that is exactly the description that she gave me. Great. I know that this is my book, but I'm not sure if this is the audiobook. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to look here and I'm going to try to determine the difference between these two. So the difference between these two is the difference between the audiobook and the ebook. I'm going to tell you right now which one is which, and then I'm going to explain the differences. So this first one here, this is our audiobook. And this second one, this is our ebook. So here's how I know that. Over here on our audiobook, we've got play sample. We also have 9 hours, and it's kind of shaped like a CD case. I know that sounds weird, but they did it on purpose. So I know that this is the audiobook because it's telling me the runtime here. The runtime is 9 hours. It's giving me the headphone icon. It's shaped like a CD and it's telling me to play it. Whereas this one is shaped like a book. It's telling me that I can read a sample, and those are the differences. Um, let's say you forget, you can always click on them and see. So I'm gonna click on this first one. I'm gonna go all the way down past the description, and it tells me the format of the book. So it's telling me that it's an audiobook and that it's 9 hours. Amazing. All the information is right there for me. Beautiful, easy stuff. So let's go back and let's do this one more time. So, let's say my friend, let's say that she only gave me the author's name, or maybe that's all I can remember, right? So let's go back to the search, delete that. I'm going to do the author's name, which is T. King Fisher. We're going to hit enter. And we're going to go through the author's works. So I know which books are from T. Kingfisher because if I look here at this first one, this one, the title is Hemlock and Silver. And up here, I've got the author's name. So everyone that is under T. Kingfisher will have her name up here, except for if it's in a series. Then it'll be on the cover or you can click on it. All right, so I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to try to find my book. So here we've got the ebook. Let's keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And here we've got the audiobook. Fantastic. So now that I'm here, I'm going to check it out. So the best way to do that is you can either click here on the library card icon. This one has a plus icon. That means that the book is available and it's ready to be checked out. If I look over here at this other one, this one has a clock icon. That means that it is not available to check out. This one I would have to place on hold. The holds function the same way they do in the library. When you place a book on hold, you are put in a line and you will wait in that line until the book is available, and you will get a notification that the book is available and you can check it out. So I'm going to check out my book. Let's click on it, and I'm going to click plus again. I'm going to borrow it for 14 days. It tells me right here. Here's my card. Click on borrow again. Beautiful. So what I can do right now is I can open the audiobook. I can start listening to it right away and end this program and be done. Or I could keep browsing. Or I could go to my shelf. That's where all of my books go to. We're going to go over this in a little bit, but for now, I'm just going to keep browsing um, and listen to my book later. Um, so it's telling me right here that this is on my loan shelf. Amazing. So, I think I want to check out the ebook as well. Just in case. I know that some people really like to listen to the audiobook and, read the ebook at the same time. So here is my ebook, Nettle and Bone. It looks like that this one is currently checked out. So I'm going to place this guy on hold. So let's click place hold. Here's my card. I'm going to click place hold again. And again, I can either keep browsing or I can go to my shelf. I'm going to keep browsing. Now it's going to tell me how long the wait is. It says that it's about an 8-week wait. That's a really long time. This is the secret part of this program. At this point, when you get here and you have this like super long wait, my recommendation would be to contact me, to contact the library. You can email me, you can give me a call, you can show up at the library, whatever works for you. And you can request your book from me. 9 times out of 10, when I get an ebook request, I'm going to purchase it. I can't give, a 100% guarantee because of, budgets and whatnot and blah, 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 right? But I am very willing to, work with people. I really want people to get their books, especially since, it takes a long time to get new books. So, again, please send me a request. I will do my best to fulfill it, and we can get you your books quicker. All right, let's go up. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is now that I found my book, I'm gonna do a little bit more searching around. So, I know that some people are really, really interested in our magazines that we have. So, let's look up a magazine that I want to read, right? So I'm gonna do New York Magazine. Amazing. Okay. And here are my results. So I've got New York Magazine, the New York Times Style Magazine, Wine Enthusiast Magazine. So it looks like this is the magazine that I'm looking for. So I am going to click on here. It tells me magazine series as well. We click on here. And on the side here, it's going to give me the same thing as before. It's giving me the description. So maybe the articles that are listed in the magazine, the people that are featured. Sometimes it'll tell me like the page number. Yeah, this is a lot of great information, right? So let's say I don't want to read this issue. I want to read a different issue. I want to read the Heated Rivalry issue. I love romance. So let's scroll down. We're going to go past the description here and past all of the information that we've got here. Again, it'll give you really valuable information like the edition, the release, blah, blah. So we're going to scroll down and hit the series here. This is going to be the backlog of all of the issues. I mean, there's a lot here. Do we have everything? No, especially not the historical stuff. That's something that you'd have to use our databases for, but we do have a lot of stuff, especially recent stuff. So here's the one that I want to read. This one is about the new hit show, Heated Rivalry. So good. So let's say I want this magazine, right? What I can do is I can just open up this magazine and start reading it right away. It's going to be a little slow for me. There we go. I can just start reading it right away if I like. Here are all the pages down here, and I can just go. Or let's go back. No, thank you. Or what I can do is I can check out the magazine. I can keep the issue on my rack for 7 days, keep it on my magazine rack. So we could do that. That's checking it out. Um, excuse me. Or I can subscribe to the magazine. So what this will do is it will put the newest issue on my magazine rack, and then when a new issue arrives, I will get a notification and I can check it out. So let's subscribe, of course. You can also pick which notification category you want. I definitely don't want an email, so I'm just going to do a shelf notice. Let's do that. So that's if you have the app, right? You want a shelf notice. If you don't have the app, if you're just using the website, then you want an email notice because it's not going to be able to send you a notification otherwise, or you could ignore. I'm going to do a shelf notice. Beautiful. Okay. That is the search tab. We've got our magazines, our books, our ebooks. We're gonna move on. Um, so if we go back to the bottom here, we are gonna go back to the home page, which is the icon that is shaped like a library building. So let's click on here. We're back to Digital Library of Illinois. So, what I consider this page to be is our digital book display. So, what the consortium does is they pick out a bunch of different books and they recommend them to you. It is really, really cool stuff. I really recommend this page if you kind of have an idea of what you'd be interested in reading, but you don't really, need a whole reader's advisory session. So, let's scroll down a bit. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Um, you can read with Kindle. So you can check out ebooks here on Libby, and you can send them to your Kindle. So what you would do is you would check out the book, and then you would link your Amazon account, and then you would send it to your Kindle. It's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go over it here tonight because I'd have to log into my own Amazon account, and that would be a whole thing. Um, if you're having trouble with this, again, please come into the library and I will help you set it up personally. Anyway, let's go on to our digital displays. So if I scroll down a bit, I get a lot of really cool recommendations. These are new releases. All of these recommendations, they're not created through an algorithm. They are created just as recommendations from the librarians that run the consortium. So let's go down. We've got guides here. That's cool. We've got an ad for Canopy, which is our free movie service. Um, New magazines. And here's where we get into more of our digital displays. We've got a women's history display, so I can click on that and I can see all the titles that are available, which is very cool. Oh, so slow. Um, let's go back. So yeah, we've got women's history. We've got books that are like Project Hail Mary, the new movie that's coming out. We've got books for Aries, if that's your sign. The Armchair Explorer. We just have so much. Like you really could scroll this for a long time and find a lot of really great recommendations. My favorite feature of this, we're going to go all the way back up. My favorite feature of this is that you can, help yourself find books that you personally would be interested in. So let's do that. Let's be our own librarian for a second. I'm going to click here. These three dashes on the side, that is our filter button. So we are going to use our filters to find something that we think we might like. Of course, we would love to give you recommendations at the library as well, but this is for if the library is closed or if you kind of have an idea of what you'd like. So I just clicked on fantasy, so I'm under the subject here. So as we know, I really enjoy fantasy books. This is under subject, so I clicked on fantasy. I'm going to click on romance because I also really like romance. And as you can see here, the number of titles is going to keep going down as I continue to filter what I want. So we've got fantasy, we got romance. I particularly like audiobooks, so we're going to do audiobooks. I'm going to click on available now. So this means that these are books that are not on hold, that are not pre-orders. These are books that are ready for me to check out, which is great. So I'm going to click that. I don't really want to read a series, so I would like to read a standalone book, please. And I think I'll sort by popularity. That should be fun. I don't really care about the date added. I don't care if it's a new book or not. I don't mind if it's YA or adult, and most of the books that we purchase are in English, so I'll just leave that blank. So from here, I am going to click on Show Titles. Okay. And it's going to give me the filtered recommendations. So, this includes a lot of popular fantasy books that I might be interested in. I already read this book. Um, I heard great things about this book, so I can see that it's available and I can check it out along with my other books. And I'm going to click borrow, and it's going to go to my shelf, but I am going to keep browsing. Okay, so that is the home screen. That is the library tab. If I click here, it will take me back to the beginning. Um, that is that. So we're going to move on to the next icon on the bottom here. So this next icon is the person reading a book. It looks exactly like the app. So we're going to click on there. And from here at the bottom of the screen, you can add a library card. So maybe you have a second home and you are a member of the library there. Maybe you're a student or a teacher and you are a member of the library there. You can add those cards to Libby and you can get access to their materials as well. As a librarian that has worked in many libraries, I have like seven of these cards. So you can have many, many cards and you can have access to all of that material. Great stuff. You're just going to kind of do the same thing as before. You are going to add a library, you're going to search it, you're going to go through the same steps we did at the beginning. But if you have any trouble, we are always happy to help. Um, Up here, this is the Libby AI recommendation tab. I'm not going to go over this. Personally, I don't think that we should be using AI for a lot of things, especially for our book recommendations. So I don't think that I'm going to go over this tonight. If you would like me to explain it to you in person, I absolutely will, or over the phone, whatever works, but I am not going to work on that tonight. So we're going to go to the next tab. We are going to go to the stack of books icon at the bottom here. This is our shelf. This is the thing that I've been mentioning. So this is where all of our books go after we check them out. If we scroll down, we've got all of our stuff. We've got the Book of Doors that I checked out when I filtered down. We've got Nettle and Bone, the book that my friend recommended me, and we've got New York Magazine, my magazines. Um, if we scroll up here, we also have more stuff available. So if I wanted to, I could click on here, and that would be all of my loans. So the two books that I checked out, I could go back. All of my holds are right here on this tab. So I'm going to click here, and here are my holds. This is Nettle and Bone, the one that I'm going to wait forever for. And this is The House in the Cerulean Sea. This is a book that I put on hold a while ago. So I just want to show this feature here. So basically, it's asking me if I want to unsuspend my book. What happened was I put this book on hold and I forgot about the hold. So the hold sat and it waited and it waited and it waited. And then what it did is it suspended itself. So it put me first in line. So I am first in line for the hold, but I'm technically out of the line. So if I unsuspended the hold and I got back in line, I would be first for the next copy. That's what happens when you don't check out your hold on Libby. It is very helpful for us because the next book goes to the next person, and then when you're ready for the book, you can just get back in line. All right, that is our holds. We also have our timeline here. This feature is great because it shows you all of the books that you have checked out. So I've got Nettle and Bone and the Book of Doors. These are the two books that I checked out. This is great because if I forget a title or an author or something of, something that I read, I can go back in here and I can look and see what I've got. This is awesome. I really like this for like my Goodreads and for recommending books to other people. I scroll through here all the time when people are asking me what I'm reading. So I'm gonna go back and then we're gonna do our notices. Our notices are just the notifications that we get from the app. So it's telling me that my hold was ready, but I did not borrow it, so it is now suspended. Let me go back again. So this is our shelf. We're going to move on to the last tab here. This last tab, these are tags. So this is a feature that is nice that Libby has, but it's not something that you necessarily need to use. Personally, I use my Goodreads for this feature rather than the Libby tags, but if you don't want another account for something, this is great. So what tags are is basically a list of books that you are curating or interested in. Let me show you how it works. So I'm just going to click on Show Me How, and it's going to walk us through it. What we're going to do is we're going to click on Save whenever we want to tag a book. I'm actually going to do this differently. What I can do is I can add a tag on stuff when I want to keep it. So let's think of a book. Let's do The Correspondent. So I'm going to go back to my search, do The Correspondent, very popular book club book. We're going to go down and I like e-audiobooks. So I'm going to click on Save. And what I can do is I can create a new tag. So I'm going to click on plus and I can just go book club. These are books that I would like to read with my book club. My book club books. And then I create it. And then if I go back to my tags column here, this is my book club tag. So I can just keep adding books to that tag. So it's basically just making lists. Again, not a super important feature for using the app, but a nice thing regardless. Um, yeah, I think that's everything I've got for everybody. So I'm gonna stop my share. That is Libby. that is how you use it, and I think the easiest way possible. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I think it was a pretty thorough run through, so
You
hopefully
know,
everyone was able to follow along. But
it's got so many features on there that, it's I feel like I'm missing stuff. So again, if there are any questions, even after the session, feel free to email me, call the library, or, come in person to ask your questions.
mm,
It's got a lot of really cool features.
yeah, and I did get one for your email again, which I'm putting into the chat. Oh, nope. I'm also missing the chat. Uh, but it will go. There we go. And someone asks, what devices can you play audiobooks on after you check them out?
That's a great question. You can play audiobooks on any device that has a speaker. So if I check out the audiobook on my computer, like I did, I'm just using my regular laptop. I can play it on my regular laptop, and it will work. You can do that on an iPad. You can't do it on a Kindle. I don't think a Kindle has a speaker. At least not that I know of. Um, so yeah, it should be any device with a speaker.
And yeah, I did not know about the suspended holds, but that is because I
Yes.
feel like I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to read it right away, so maybe I shouldn't put a hold. But and someone asks about getting notified when a book on hold is available.
So
So,
the notification that will happen is you will either, if you are on your mobile device, you will either get a regular notification on your device. You have to make sure that your notifications are set up through your settings, that you get those notifications. But you should just get a regular, like a little ping on your phone, and it'll say the correspondent is available for checkout. And then that book will stay on your shelf for 3 days. It'll stay there. And if you don't check it out within those 3 days, then it will suspend itself. And you can just, click on that, click on unsuspend, and get back in line. Um, it happens to me all the time as well. This is not my actual Libby account, but my Libby account. I mean, I have so many holds and they're all suspended. So, just get back in line and I will repurchase it.
and then someone asks recommendations for listening in the car, how to
Oh
do
my
that.
gosh. Recommendations for listening in the car. Um, my recommendation is I really like, I mean, are we doing like reader's advisory right now?
No, I think just like, would you play it off your phone with
Oh, okay.
Bluetooth, or like what is the setup for doing that?
So what you could do, it depends on what kind of car you have. So if you have an audio jack where you can, plug it into the car and then also plug it into your phone. So you want to make sure that, your phone is plugged into the car. You can use, an aux cord to play that audiobook through your car speaker. Doing this with Libby is great. I mean, especially on road trips and whatnot. But you do want an aux cord, an AUX cord. And then you want the end of the cord to be able to fit into your phone. So you might need some kind of adapter if you have, an iPhone that doesn't have like a regular headphone jack anymore. Um, so that is my recommendation for using it. I don't I don't think there are other, oh, I guess there's Bluetooth. I didn't think about that. You could Bluetooth connect it as well. Um, that would have to be specific to your car.
Yeah, and I believe both Libby and Hoopla might have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto app options where
I
you
think
can
they do.
add it to your home screen if you use either of those
Yeah, I think
in your
they do.
car.
Um, They should both be able to connect there, similar to like if you have any kind of music app, Pandora, Apple Music, Spotify, whatnot, even YouTube, like you can play through your car.
And then someone had a question, can you switch between devices?
Switch between devices, like play an audiobook on one device and then like pick it up on a different device. That's what I'm assuming.
That's my guess, yeah.
Yeah. You can do that. Um, I have done that before. Um, I sometimes there is a little bit of lag, kind of like, again, the same with a YouTube video. Sometimes you're playing the YouTube video on your phone and then you walk away, whatever, and you play it again, maybe on your laptop or TV or whatnot. There might be, a little bit of a discrepancy there. There shouldn't be, but there might be. But yes, you can play between devices. It should sync up. That is what it's supposed to do.
And then I'm seeing a question about how to set up the notifications. And I would just say that's probably something where you'd want to come in to the library and we can walk you through that on your specific device.
Yeah, we'd have to like look at your settings and stuff. But I'm very happy to go over that with you. Even if you needed to, you can come into the library, just give me a call.
But yes, as always, the librarians are here to help. Uh, Phone, email, walk in the door. Thank you everyone for coming, and we will hopefully see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.